G'day guys. You've probably worked out by now that I have a lot of hobbies and interests. One of my big hobbies that I've had for quite a few years now is collecting Lego. And one of these days I hope to show you my Lego set, but today's not that day. Another one of my hobbies which I've been reading up and been quite interested in for quite a few years now is all about World War II. And I've always had a passion for tanks. I'm not really sure why, I've always had an interest and a passion for tanks. So much so that for quite a few years I got into scale model building. I especially liked building German tanks, mainly because I found their designs to be quite interesting. I really enjoy this hobby, but it had quite a few downsides, as if you've done it you probably are aware. It takes a long time, it's quite expensive, and the overall models that you build are very fragile. So lo and behold, about 18 months to 2 years ago, I was just trawling through the internet and I discovered this brand called COBI, and they were making brick versions of tanks. And I've tried quite a few different non-Lego brick companies and I've never been impressed with their quality. So when I first saw this, I dismissed it and thought it was probably another cheap knockoff brand of Legos. I did a little bit more reading into it and I discovered that this actual product is made in Poland, unlike China. And that got me thinking, maybe this is a little bit different to your standard Lego clone brand. So I decided to buy one. And the first one I bought was actually a Russian T-34-76. And when I built this, I was massively impressed with the quality of this tank, just the overall quality of the plastic used in the brick, the overall quality, like for example, all these track links here, they're individual track links and the tracks work perfectly. I'll show you that a bit later on. And I was just amazed at the overall quality of this actual brand. So over the last 18 months in particular, I've been buying quite a few different of the COBI World War II series. You can see here, this is a Puma. This is a Panther. I'm not sure which version it is, an Offs D or an Offs G. But COBI at the moment have about 15 or so models in their lineup. And not only do they do tanks, but they do armoured personnel carriers. This is a German half-track. And again, this actually has a slightly different track system. But just see, these brick models are very well designed, they're very solid, and the plastic itself feels like Lego plastic. I'm just very impressed with this COBI brand. So what I want to do, I've bought this Panzer III. This is a brand new release from COBI in the last month or so. It just arrived to me from Poland. So what I thought I'd do is I'll actually open this for you, have a bit of a look around and show you what you get in a box from COBI. So looking at the box very quickly, you can see the front here, we have an image of the tank itself, fairly standard. Moving around the box quickly there, you can see we've got the dimensions of the tank itself and a picture of one of the figures. And this is another thing I quite liked about the actual sets. Each box has a couple of images of the different functions, and very quickly you can see that the gun itself, or the cannon, moves up and down. We have hatches here. The turret has full 360-degree rotation, and we also have a commander's cupola or commander's hatch on the top of the tank. We also get a rear look at the tank and a little bit of the specs of the actual real tank just here. And each box also includes a photo of the real tank, which is the inspiration for the brick-built tank. This actual kit comes with 400 pieces and 2 minifigures. Now that actually might sound like quite a low piece count if you're, for example, used to building Lego sets. But one thing I've noticed after building these different COBI tanks over the last year or so is that most of their bricks are actually quite large bricks. These almost feel like building a Lego set from maybe 5 or 10 years ago. They have a lot less complex, like sort of custom molds, and they have more standard bricks. So I'll quickly open this box and we'll have a look at the contents inside. Very similar to Lego, you get an instruction manual, and the instruction manual, just like a Lego high quality instruction manual, is full color and the pages are nice and thick. And we also have 2 brick bags, and then we have a couple of larger base plates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the camera now and put this together and come back and show you what a completed Panzer III looks like. So I mentioned that COBI includes much larger bricks than you'd find in a typical Lego set, so I thought I'd actually show you that now that I'm about a third of the way through the Panzer III build. This is about half the contents of bag 1, and you can see just by giving you an overview of the actual bricks themselves that most of the bricks are either sort of a standard 2x4 size or larger. And you can see here, it doesn't look anything like a Panzer III at the moment, except for the 3 return rollers. But you can see the chassis of the actual tank, this is a solidly brick built chassis. That's basically solid plastic that I've slowly been building up, where you don't get custom parts that make up, you know, a quarter of the chassis itself. You actually build the whole thing out of bricks. So one last thing before I show you the completed tank. You can see there I've almost finished the Panzer III. I thought I'd show you how the track link system works on these COBI tanks. So if you look at the instructions for the Panzer III, there's actually 62 individual links. So there's 31 on each side. And the way the track links actually work, I'll see if I can do this one-handed. Each individual track link has some connecting pins on one side and then a bit of a rod on the other. So basically, not sure if I'm going to be able to manage this, you essentially just snap those two together and you keep going until you've got your entire link of 31. And this plastic here, these tracks are solid plastic. They're very flexible, so essentially you won't get any interference from these as it's going around the actual tracks on the tank itself. These tracks are very impressive. And here's the finished product. Once again, COBI has delivered a really nice model. This Panzer III is really solid. It has an exceptionally good design. I mean, it does look like a very good representation of the Panzer III. I believe this sand color is supposed to be indicative of the Africa Corps colors. The actual turret is probably one of my most favorite COBI turrets they've designed yet. It does look very strikingly like the Panzer III turret, so they did a great job with that. And just to show you this, the tracks once again roll perfectly. You can see there just those track links. The way they've designed these tracks is just fantastic. I'm still amazed to this day, a year later, just how well those tracks actually work. You put these tanks on carpet and they just fly along with those tracks running just like a real tank. It's just fantastic. Now, one last thing I wanted to mention is that I noticed online COBI has copped quite a bit of flack for their minifigures. Now, about a year ago when I first started collecting, this is what the minifigures actually look like. They were basically a Lego rip-off, a Lego clone, and their facial printing was really poor. And the overall quality was, I would say, just average. So I'm not sure when, about maybe 3 to 6 months ago, COBI changed the way they were producing their minifigures. And you can see here that the one on the right is one of the newer minifigures. They redesigned the head. It now has molding around the nose and around the face. I actually really like the design of these new minifigures. You can see the bust itself has more of a chest at the top. And these new minifigures are designed so that they actually move at the waist. They pivot at the waist, so they're quite easy to display. And they changed the hand as well. So the hand now actually has what it appears to be more like a thumb, which is a nice addition. And they've significantly enhanced the printing that they're doing on these figures. You can see the uniform on this particular figure is quite accurate, and they've also printing on the helmets themselves, as you can see there. And one other thing, I'll just show you this figure, the actual tank commander. This is probably the most detailed figure in terms of uniform printing that I've actually seen on one of these COBI figures. You can see there he's got the Iron Cross. That's actually, that one there, it's really hard to see, but that's actually, I believe that's probably a German tank medal. And you can see the different insignia around the collar there as well. Quite a lot of detail on these minifigures that COBI's putting in now. And I mean, compared to their earlier attempts at minifigures, these new ones are much better. And I'm actually really enjoying collecting these more so than, for example, collecting a Lego minifigure that's been customized to look like a World War II soldier. So in any case, once again, I'm very impressed with this COBI tank. I think they've done a fantastic job. And I really wanted to bring this to you just so you can see that if you've ever considered buying a COBI tank, I hope this has helped you maybe, or shed some light on the quality of this product and helped you make a decision as to whether or not you should get it or not. But for me, it's worth it. I love collecting these things, these tanks in particular. At some point in the future, I'll hopefully do a video showcasing all the different COBI tanks and different armoured fighting vehicles and support vehicles that I have. If you have any questions on the COBI product or any of the other COBI tanks, please give me a shout out in the comments or on Twitter, and I'll try to help you out. So in any case, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.